y'all, welcome back to Conversations with Creatives, a talk show where we take the time to get to know your faves so you can get to know them. I'm your lovely host, Trinity, and today we have the creative mind behind the lens, Quality, aka QualityLenz. How are you today?
I am great. I appreciate y'all having me.
Of course. So today we're going to sit and talk to Quality about his book and just being a creative and a film photographer. So if you want to get to know a little bit more about him, stay tuned. So to start my show, normally we start with these conversation cards here.
Okay.
They're nothing too serious, like they're just chill questions.
Okay,
so I'm just gonna hold them out for you. Okay. And let you pick a card, but I don't want you to read it. I'm gonna read it to you.
Okay.
So you can just pick whatever card you want.
Let's do. Hang on, I'm gonna look up so I don't see.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, that question's too serious. We're gonna do another one. We're gonna do another one.
Let's see. All right, this one we actually got to do.
Okay.
How serious? We'll answer it.
Okay. Oh, okay. This is good. Would you rather live for a week in the past or the future?
Oh, live for a week in the past or the future? I would say a week in the past.
Okay.
And it would be the week of Freaknik.
Wow. So 90s, I think I would go back to the 90s too. I feel like that was a really good era.
For sure.
And that was really living, turning up.
Yeah, the documentary's coming out soon, so.
Oh, is it on Hulu?
The 21st, I think that's what they said, yeah.
Wow, I'm a little scared.
I hope I don't see my mother. That's the...
No, my mom was at Freaknik too, so I hope not either.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's gonna be fine.
Right.
If they do, we just don't say anything.
I'm like, oh, I don't know who that is.
Right, like that's not my mom. I don't know her. I don't know her. Okay, so we're gonna just jump right into the questions here. So I'm gonna start you out with something slow a little bit, light. How would you describe your work or your photography in 3 words and why?
3 words. Very culturally artistic.
Okay, why would you say that?
A lot of my work is for the culture and inspired by the culture as well.
Okay.
I just pretty much want to make art popular again. A lot of the stuff that's made today is content. Content is cool, but content shouldn't overbear the word art. That makes sense.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that art is something that should be taken from not only personal experiences, but also cultural experiences as well. And yeah, you know, just pretty much keep it in the family, you know what I'm saying? Art can be made anywhere. Like in the book, I went to the hood, I've been to my grandmother's house, I've been pretty much a lot of places. And just where the culture remains and continue to highlight to make art out of it rather than looking at it as some kind of political standpoint or just an aesthetic. You feel me? So just
that's deep. You starting us off a little deep. Okay, I like that. So we're gonna take it back a little bit further. Okay. How'd you get into photography?
I was always into art. So I started off drawing in middle school and then moved up to spray painting. I used to be called Spray Casso back in middle school. Back in high school. Yes. It was.
What were you spray painting like? Were you like a street spray painter?
No.
Okay. I
was doing just spray painting on canvases and whiteboards, pretty much. So using pots and pans around the house, or just picking up pots and pans that was just donated to me. I would use those as like mediums and materials. And then after that, I got into airbrushing, and then went into customizing shoes. Then I went into digital art. So yeah, I've been in the realm for a while.
Okay.
I don't know what I saw, but I saw something that looked cool, and I was like, oh, I could do that. and then it just kind of stick it and ran with it.
So you saw like somebody's photography work, and you were just like, yeah, that's something I could do.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name.
Really?
I just know that I was like, okay, let's try it.
Okay, so from there, how did you get into film photography? Because that's getting a lot of more popularity recently.
Right, it is.
So how did that come about?
I got tired of shooting digital. I was losing the passion of shooting just in general, and I was like, all right, I don't want to stop shooting, but I'm not getting the creative jump that I need.
Oh.
So I was like, let's just go back, put the camera down, and then let's go research and see what I really want to do. So that led me to film photography, but before hopping into film photography, I took a month or two to study Renaissance art. So I studied like Renaissance paintings, like Rembrandt, Caravaggio, John Van Eyck, a lot of landscape and portrait Renaissance artists. And that pretty much engulfed everything into what I know for film. So everything that you see on my page is pretty much like Renaissance inspiration when it comes to lighting or when it comes to colors or just poses or anything like that. So
that's so cool, because like you wouldn't think that somebody was like, yeah, I got into photography, I got a camera for Christmas, but you're like, no, I was studying, and I just happened to enjoy it enough that you wanted to pick up a camera and like create something similar.
Yes,
that's really dope.
I appreciate it.
No problem. So I would assume, you know, since you said digital got a little boring for you, that you prefer film over digitals. Do you shoot in digital much anymore, or?
Yes. For clientele work, I do digital, of course. But eventually I hope to like be fully film, you know, unless they just ask for digital, then like, of course I could do it.
Right.
But the teachings are still the same. So a lot of the, like the lighting, the shadows, the way I edit is gonna still be that kind of Renaissance kind of work,
right?
And or something that I've shot on film before. So yeah, definitely, I still do digital.
Okay. So do you develop your own film, or like have you thought about doing it?
I have. When I get older, of course, I'm gonna develop my own film. But when I was in school, I took a class over the summer, and I was able to develop my own film there, black and white film. So that was fire.
Wow.
Very, very costly, I would say. Very, very costly.
Okay.
Luckily, the school, you know, gave us everything that we needed, so I didn't have to pay for anything. But
that's the benefit of doing stuff while you're in school. It'd be like a lot cheaper or free.
Right. No, definitely. So we was into developing. We was printing our own work with an enlarger and everything. I would definitely do a darkroom in my house, but it wouldn't be until I'm about 40.
Okay. That's fine. You know, that I feel like that's something that you definitely have to plan for and invest in.
For sure.
Kind of build up to a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, everything considered, what is your favorite camera to shoot on?
That's a great question. Me and Malay, correct? Me and Malay was talking about it earlier today. I like the Zensobronica. My very first film camera, very first medium format film camera that I bought. I know there's the Mamiya gang out there, but no one really shoots with a Zensobronica, or at least very rarely you would see it. So it's kind of like that underdog camera. So I definitely got it for that reason. To stay outside the boundaries of the Mamiya and not really be tied to that. Oh, he's shooting film, he has a Mamiya. Nah, I don't. So, you know, or at least at the time I didn't.
Okay.
So I went that route for, the Zensobronica, top camera, 645, beautiful, ETRSI.
Okay. I don't know much about cameras. I know a little bit, but I imagine that the photographers watching know exactly what you're referring to.
You know, I hope so. You know, if not, you know, it's a good.
But if not, you're teaching them something. Like you putting them down on like a nice camera.
Right. Beautiful camera.
Okay. So when it comes to shooting and your photography, who are your inspirations, or where do you get your inspiration from?
My inspirations. I am a very old man. I'm an old man at heart. So, of course, Gordon Parks, top already. Right. Gordon Parks. Saul Leader's another one. Jamal Shabazz. It's another good one. I'm trying to think. off the top of my head, that's the ones I can think of, like just right off the top. Some more recent shooters, I would say, would be like Dante Maurice, Ahmad Barber, and yeah, other than myself.
Right?
Yeah, other than myself.
Okay.
Other than myself. That's the top five I can think of.
Okay, and briefly explaining, what do you think about their art or their photography that you enjoy the most?
I would say their versatility and their knack to experiment. The biggest thing, in my opinion, that I think is missing in a lot of work today is the experimentation.
Okay.
A lot of my works is experiments. I'm not even gonna,
Wow, really?
yes, like a lot of what you see on my page is either like practice or a shoot that I was booked for, and I was like, hey, let me just try something. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of trying stuff, which is like a skill you'll be able to like develop and learn to master the more you shoot, especially the more you shoot film.
Right.
Because each shot costs. So you really have to, yeah, you really got to keep that in mind when it comes to shooting. So, but yeah, experimenting. I love them because they like to experiment, not only with lighting but with colors as well, angles. When it comes to versatility, Gordon Parks was shooting in the hood, he was shooting fashion, he was shooting at the war, even shooting in like during closed hours. One of his most famous photos is a woman holding a mop that was cleaning up in front of an American flag, basically. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, the versatility and experimentation.
Wow. So when you're experimenting on stuff, do you ever like I'm gonna try this and like it doesn't work out? You get the film back and you're just like, yeah, this wasn't it.
For sure.
So what do you do in this instance? Do you like go back and like tweak it and you're just like, I really like this idea, but it didn't work out this time. Let me try something else to kind of bring it to life.
I take the punch and I put it to the side.
Okay. No.
Yeah. I take the punch and put it to the side. If it doesn't work, I figure out why it didn't work, and then I go try it with a whole different concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but that's the beauty of film, though. You kind of living on the edge.
Right.
Digital, you can just shoot and delete. With film, you take it, and it's like, all right, it's either we got it or we didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, it may be nerve-wracking, but the more you shoot, the more trust you build for yourself.
Oh.
But yes, if it doesn't look great, I'm like, well, I can't go back.
Yeah.
Can't go back and do that again. So it's definitely it hurts sometimes. But
yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. It's a beautiful pain.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pain.
So how would you say, or would you say that your life is, or your upbringing is reflected in your work in any kind of way?
Yes. I use creating as a coping mechanism. Creating for me is like, if I wasn't creating, I would be in a very dark place.
Oh, wow.
For sure. I would be very honest with y'all. I would be in a very dark place if I wasn't shooting. There's been times where it's like I've been very depressed and I've been in a very dark hole, and the only thing I had was just my thoughts, and I was like, let me just go create a concept. Like there's a lot of concepts that I've created that's been based on personal experiences. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been shot yet, but just the doing, the act of doing and creating the concept, writing it down, figuring out how to shoot it, when to shoot it, and then the thought of execution, not actually doing the execution, but the thought of executing it has gotten me out of a dark place multiple times.
Wow.
So a lot of what you'll see in the next book would be more of me, not me personally, but like my siblings, my mother is going to be in there, and then a few other things are going to be in there as well. But we'll talk about the book later.
Right, we will. We're going to get into it.
We'll talk about the book later.
But that's really dope, you know, how, you know, you can see yourself reflected in your photography or your art without actually, you know, having to be the face of your photos.
For sure. A lot of concepts have been, they're in the vault right now. Because you got to spoon feed.
Right, you can't give them everything at once.
Right. You got to spoon feed. Like there's a few concepts that reflect from either me or past experiences. One of the concepts that I have posted on my IG is one with my homie and his daughter. He's a single father, and it's very rare you see single fathers, raising a daughter. So that's one of them, and that's something you see in the hood.
Yeah, it's everyday life.
Right, a lot of what you see, it may be like single mother parenthood, but single father parenthood, it is real, It happens. So that's one of the few that kind of more story based, you know what I'm saying? People love the aesthetics, but I like to give them a jab with the storytelling sometimes.
That was gonna lead me into my next question, because a lot of your photography, like on your page and Instagram, is like very culturally rich and like for the Black people,
That's right.
So do you creative direct your own shoots, or like do you come up with the ideas yourself, or do you take ideas from the client? How's that normally?
I only take ideas from the client when they ask.
Okay.
But if it's something that I'm doing, I'm pretty much creative directing.
Right.
Because all the concepts I've created myself, the fashion studies I've came up with, the past 2 years, I've kept myself to trying to create 100 concepts a year.
Wow.
So 2022, 2023, I hit over 100. 2024, I was, just started, so I'm a little behind. 2021 to 2024, so 3 years actually.
Wow.
3 years. I've been keeping myself to 100 concepts a year. 2023 was a little busy because I was like graduating, so I only hit like 60.
But
so
that's a lot still.
But it's just like one of those kind of high bars you set for yourself that you got to try to attain. I don't know if I'm gonna do it again this year, because once again it's another busy year. But
I was gonna say, I feel like if you started in 2021 to 2024, 100 concepts a year, that's like almost 500 like different ideas that you come up with.
For sure.
Which I think is really impressive. Even if you don't hit 100 every year, that's still really good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, it's good.
I try not to, boost my head up a little bit too much.
No, it's okay to stay humble, but still be like, I did that.
For sure.
I ate that up.
For sure. I feel it.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a second to pause and stop asking questions, and I'm just let you talk. So we have this little like middle point of the show where we call like, what did it take? And I want you to tell us a little story about the most difficult or fun or interesting project you've done or shoot that you've had.
Wow, that's a great question. That's a great topic. The hardest, I would say, it was probably recently actually. It was in December of this past year. I did a concept out of my cousin's garage. It was a fashion study. So what made it difficult is that it was freezing cold. It was the last shoot I needed to do for the book, the last little reel I needed to get out for the book. So I was like, all right, we got that, boom, shot it, and then we did another shoot behind it because he just had, I told him to bring some fits, and I was like, all right, let's just shoot it, because it's gonna be lit. Right. It was like 30-degree weather, hands freezing. I was shooting on my Zenza. I had to use my homie. My homie was there with me. So I had to focus, there was no lights because I was shooting in the garage. So no constant light to help me focus in. I was using my strobe. I had my friend hold up his phone flashlight.
Oh my God.
In order to focus. So once I got it focused, I had to hold it, tell him to move. So I had to wait on him to get out and then take the shot. And it came out great, actually. It was nice, and it was my first time shooting on a different roll too. So a lot of things played into part on why that was like nobody would really be able to shoot that without determination and passion, to be honest. But yeah, we did 2 fits. Did the same thing. My homie held up the flashlight, take the shot, just kept that going. until we finished up all the rolls. So
Wow.
it was tough.
Y'all were struggling against the light, the elements.
For sure. My hands was like, I barely could feel my fingers, but
no.
anything for the shot.
Well, how was your cousin who you were taking the photos? How was he doing?
Oh yeah, he's good. They were warm. You were
the only one?
Pretty much, because I was I basically had my hands out the whole time,
right?
And, like messing with metal in 30-degree weather, so my hands was constantly freezing. So the model was good and everything, but the biggest thing was that we got the shots off,
right?
And it was late. It was like 12,
wow.
1 in the morning. So yeah, definitely determination and passion. The only thing pretty much got me through that. So, but it was worth it.
That's real.
Definitely worth it. Would I do it again? Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah, because sometimes you're a slave to the art, for real.
For sure, yeah. Definitely worth it.
Period. And you said that the photos are in your book?
No, they might be in the next one.
Okay.
Might be in the next
so
one.
y'all stay tuned, because
yeah,
they might be in the next book and you'll get to see the story behind the photos.
Right, for sure. But the fashion study is on my page though. The one with the guy in the white coat, that's in front of the garage, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can put it up there so they can see it.
I appreciate it.